I recently hit Masters in Legends of Runeterra, and I'm about to show you how you can do it too. And just like that, that's how you achieve Masters in Legends of Runeterra. Okay, so let's actually go in depth and explain the train of thought or what you should be playing to achieve masters. This is the first time I've ever achieved masters. There's a lot of other conversations of other people who've gotten it multiple times, but this is simply a perspective from someone who's barely achieved it a few days ago, and how I necessarily did it. Being a first newcomer, this is the first card game that I've actually played excessively, and mostly because it's a free to play game and it really feels that way, and that's how I was able to achieve it. Realistically, yes, going to Mobalytics or going to any website and looking at the top decks and simply copying them and incorporating them into your build is super easy. But what if, right? I do not have the cards that I'm looking for. You're gonna see a lot of these red dots on the top of a lot of the decks that I have here. What I do is pick a deck that I really want to play. I'm a really big fan of, and then I'm going to edit that deck accordingly. I'm going to be buying those cards according to what I do not have. I'll just right click. Okay, do I have this little gemstone? I do not. Every time I do not have 3,000 gems or essence or whatever it's called, right? I'm going to hold out. I don't care that it's 1,200. The most valuable thing to buy with this essence is hold out for champions. Champions cost about 3,000. If I have 3,000, I will spend this essence. If I do not have 3,000, I will not spend this essence. I will hold on to it. I need to save that essence to be able to buy a champion so that I can inevitably be able to build. So right here, for example, I need 3,000. I'm more likely to get a wild card, a purple wild card, to be able to make, for example, this Sun Guardian, right? Compared to me being able to get a champion wild card and simply getting this essence. Let's say you have all the cards, in this case, the common cards or the common wild cards, and you've collected them all. Awesome, perfect. Go back to your Mobalytics, pick another deck that you really want to do, and just add it and keep going in that sense. And that way, eventually, you're going to be able to create the most meta decks. When I got to Diamond, I had about 3 meta decks that I was playing consistently. I was playing Pantheon Vayne, Swain TF, and I believe like a Draven Jinx kind of like, or A tier deck, or Seraphine Victor is what I was playing. Generally, those were the 3 decks that I was playing. You can see S tier, A tiers. These are the decks that I was playing, finding them from Mobalytics. But going from Diamond to Masters was probably the hardest part. At that point, you can't really play the Mobalytics builds. You have to start playing builds or decks that you're like really good at or that you really enjoy playing, because at that point it becomes a grind. I was playing Swain TF, which is marked as an A tier build. The reason that a lot of these builds are marked as an A tier and not an S tier is because there's a lot better things to play when you're going up, let's say from Iron to Diamond. Because the faster games you're playing, when you're playing aggro decks being decks that are intentionally playing low mana and playing to burst the opponent's nexus as quickly and as fast as possible. The reason that Teemo, Zoe do so effectively is because it's so hard for them, for your opponent to be able to play or defend itself properly. When it comes to stats, or when it comes to anything that you are trying to like improve or incorporate, look at the stats. Don't look at meta tier list necessarily when you're going from Diamond to Masters. Honestly, just looking at stats is incredibly important. I've gotten into Diamond and TFT as well. You are mostly just looking at stats numbers are going to help you out, looking at 53% win rate, right? What it's good against, what it's bad against, and when you should be playing it. Kayn Vayne is practically getting played excessively, and it's doing incredibly well, the win rate. And also looking at the play rates, right? So we have the 10%, the 11%, and whatnot. Runeterra right now isn't working for my video, but I also recommend that. Very useful, and for sure following these stats and understanding which builds are working most effectively. If the top deck isn't winning for you, play something, or like these are aggro decks, right? Play something more control based or something more mid range. Kane Bane is kind of a mid range deck. It's not necessarily going for the super late game. It can do really well once it's mid game. Seraphine Victor, another deck that not doing so hot anymore, but something that's, if you're enjoying it and you're feeling it, is a good deck to like be able to like improve as. But right here, like I said, you see a lot of win rates. You're able to see what is doing really well and what is doing really bad, and that's how you're able to climb to masters. Look at the stats. Look at the mobilytics. Honestly, just copying those decks is really gonna take you to the next level. Let's say you don't have the cards for that deck. You are going to open up your deck, the deck that I do not have the cards. You can see right here, I have 3, but I have less than that. Remove that card, go through your owned cards, only your own cards, right? And then put the cards that you're looking for, do the regions that you're in, and then look through your cards and be like, okay, this card would work well, and then take it in, take it out. Let's say what's something that I would do consistently is I'd copy that card. The name of my title is Gauntlet Bannerman. I'm going to import the exact same deck, right? Gauntlet Bannerman. I just added a little asterisk, and now it's literally the very next thing, Gauntlet asterisk Bannerman. I'm going to edit this deck, and then I'm going to remove, and then you can remove like a bunch of cards, right? And you still stay faithful, and you could just add a bunch of cards, save, but that way you can keep going and still trying to achieve and complete this deck specifically, but you're also playing with like a deck that is more for the cards that you own. As an example, we can do Demacia, and then we can just add a bunch of cards. And then now, the Gauntlet Bannerman that previously I was not able to play, I'm able to play now. I don't have enough cards to play the original, but I'm going to just play one that I just randomly created. Honestly, just playing a lot of the game is incredibly useful. I was able to go get a 70% win rate on the Swain TF deck. That was my favorite one, but does that have to be the deck that you play? Of course not. Play what you enjoy, and I think a lot of the times you're going to realize that there is a meta deck, or there's a deck that you can incorporate and have a good time with. Other than that, make sure to like and subscribe, and if you get to Masters, make sure to leave a comment. If you ranked up using these tips, make sure to leave a comment. Thank you for being here.